People in the media are calling Jason Aldean's new song, Try That in a Small Town, racist. And honestly, sometimes the media just gets things so wrong, we have no choice but to comment on it.
All right, you tell me what exactly is racist about these lyrics, okay? In the city, they are everywhere. Some wearing leather and some have long hair. They grab your hand, at first you say no, but I have a wife, you start to shout. Try that in a small town.
I guess they don't want you to have a wife now. It's something about family values is problematic with the media. It's hard to keep up, really.
That's how I see it. You were only at the parade as a joke, but now you're on your way to his hotel. You bite down on the pillow and think of your family. Why am I letting this strange man manhandle me? Try that in a small town.
I mean, he's getting in a fight. It's known to happen. I don't know if that's like a masculinity issue. The two guys will be fighting and one's manhandling the other.
Yeah, big city crimes out of hand, stuff like that, you know. Anyways, I say I've never done this, but I was here last year telling my wife I'm with Jimmy drinking beer. I tried all the methods like praying it away, but then why am I locked in this dungeon with Dave? Try that in a small town.
You know, we're all sort of locked in the dungeon of life, and I believe that's what he's talking about right there. Sometimes songwriters will, in their lyrics, use metaphors to illustrate the points that they're trying to make.
Obviously. Anyways, Dave is now joined by Barry and Steve. I wear a disguise so they don't know it's me. Dave must be hungry, and I don't mean for food. Steve's last name must be Paddock, because he's about to shoot. Try that in a small town.
You know, we all wear a disguise sometimes. I don't know what's the problem with pointing that out. I don't really see how they could even have a problem with that.
I think it's a nice song.
Gun violence is a problem in the country. He was obviously drawing attention to that by talking about how, I believe it was Dave in the story that was about to shoot.
And Barry and Steve.
Honestly, the whole thing's just lazy, and I just think we had no choice but to comment on that before we start the episode.
Yeah.
The boys.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The lads.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Prepare yourself for BOYSCAST.
The bros.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The homies.
It's the BOYSCAST.
The dudes.
Experience the BOYSCAST.
The boys. Cast.
Boys. You know who I've got to address this.
Yeah.
Before we start, Brian Zazaz. This guy.
Zazaz.
So, as some of you know, I've been chatting with him. Billionaire's stepson.
Yeah.
You know, that died in the submarine.
About to inherit some Skrilla.
About to inherit some Skrilla. He's been going wild on the internet. I was the only guy that had this person's back.
Yep.
And then, so he got fired from his job for his tweets.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing all sorts of stuff.
He's being persecuted.
I've been chatting with him online, as you know. I'm chatting with him on Instagram. I'm chatting with him on Twitter, trying to get him to go to the BOYSCAST. I literally go, hey, we'll come to San Diego, or you come here. And then he's like a loose cannon completely, right?
Well, that's part of the charm, I guess.
It is part of the charm. He's posting online essentially being like, I got all this money and I can't get laid still. Where are the bitches at? All this sort of stuff, right? He's trying to use some of the fame to get some chicks, which no one's hating on him for. But he's getting blasted in the press. You know what I mean? He's putting it out there. And then I'm simply saying, we're going to give you a platform with a lot of listeners.
Yeah.
To just tell your side of the story.
Sure.
Tell the ladies what's up.
Maybe, express some of your grief.
We might even do a dating show for him. You know what I mean? We have a lot of ideas. And then so he starts messaging me on Instagram. He's saying, he'd be love to do it. And then he messages on Twitter. And I say, hey, come to the podcast.
Oh, you're switching platforms, huh?
I'm trying to get a hold of this guy.
Can't even keep him on a single platform.
He legitimately responds to me. He goes, love to do it. That'd be fun. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, and then he messages me. He's like, I don't even care if you roast me. And I was like, yeah, maybe. But like, literally, we're not trying to do that. I actually want you to come on.
Yeah, we're going for full Barbara Walters here.
I'm not. My point is never to bring like a wild man on and then just like, I'm not trying to be like, you said this on
of course.
You know what I mean?
We're not trying to, it's not a gotcha.
Right.
You're hanging with the boys.
I want to just hang with them.
You're hanging with the bereaved boys.
And I thought everyone would like it. And then he just basically like goes cold and then he'll answer again. So now I'm just like, if we went to San Diego, I feel like we'd be getting off the plane to have cold messages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'd be sitting there with our dicks in our hand. I even said, I was like, we'll buy you plane tickets, whatever. And he was like, yeah, don't even worry, I'm coming. And then blah, blah. Then he just like, and I was like, hey, how's this day? And then he just stops responding. So I don't know what to do
can't
with
have
this
anything
guy.
better going on, unless he's getting in trouble from his mom. This sounds like the work of a mom.
You think mom's saying
Mom's
you're
like,
not doing the
Brian,
boys
get
cast?
off the internet. You're not doing that boys cast. I've heard about that boys cast. They're no good. He goes, Mom, they said I could fight in New York, though. You go, no.
You're not going to New York. You're not getting girls. We're taking
grounded.
your Twitter away.
She
You're
literally
grounded.
took his phone away.
That's the
Mom
only thing
took
I
the
can
phone
think
away.
about. He lost his job. The media is going crazy on him because he's posting all sorts of stuff. He was like, basically he's like, any girls message me, even trans girls.
Yeah.
Everyone's on the market.
And then he wants to give black people money.
He wants to give
for
black
school.
people money, yes. And then there's other people where he'll be, there's some people will post on his thing and he'll just call them not hot and stuff like that. So he's basically been going wild, but we can't get a hold of this guy. He's like a loose cannon.
Sounds like he's grounded.
He has to be grounded. If you're hanging with him right now, you got to get this guy.
He's got a lot of tough name to pronounce. I don't even know how to pronounce it. That's coming from me. So
Speaking of a boys wins this week,
yeah,
Tiger Woods NDA. Danny just
this is hot off the press. The girlfriend NDA held up in court. Rock solid NDA, people.
that's got to be a hit to her.
Huge. Oh, huge.
So what was she trying to get? Just the
30
fucking
mil.
works?
She was trying to get she was just trying to get $30 million because we've talked about it before, but basically she was living in his mansion. He kicked her out. She said that they had an oral agreement that like she could live there for some period of time. For her to rent a comparable mansion for that period of time would be like $30 million.
She needs the mansion fund.
Basically, she's like, that's what I'm owed. And he's just like, bitch, you signed an NDA.
And she's sort of showing up to the courts like, oh, please, sir.
Yeah,
with her
please
hands
let me
up.
break my NDA. You
Yeah.
know, this is America.
She's just,
no.
Yeah, she's begging. She's in the courtroom begging. She's wearing her scrappy clothes. Please, Mr. Judge, I just need a mere 30 mil. Oh, please. That's one of those stories.
I know, she deserves it in her mind.
Dear Judge, I was fired from my job and my boyfriend kicked me out. I have 19 kids. All I need is 30 million to get me back on my feet and buy a train ticket back to my house.
She should go lock herself to the front doors of Augusta National until this gets settled.
So the judge held it up.
Well, I mean, look, it's like
that's a win for everybody.
one of the biggest like bases of America and the whole system here is that we respect contracts. Like that's the deal. This is what makes us like separate from those savages in other countries, like Canada. But no, it's just like it's contract law. And he said, "Look, you signed a deal."
Honestly, you do need deals these days because I don't know if you've noticed, but it started recently with there's been a few recently, and obviously Jonah Hill was part of that. But there's just like every time you look, there's a new breakup, and the girl's just like, "Here's everything he said to me ever."
Oh, I mean, if Jonah Hill is not, I mean, I guess he got a new chick. So, but that if you are a level of fame, like NDA should be standard.
Okay.
Where it's like for a relationship, like just when this is going to become trendy to be releasing all your private shit.
What? Gonna become trendy.
Or it is.
My friend.
But it's picking up steam,
It's like legitimately every girl's just like, you break up with a girl and she's like, I got a little fucking trick up my sleeve. Every message you've ever sent to me.
Yeah. Well, no, not the good ones. That's the worst part. Is it's not every message.
It's not every
They take all the ones away that make you look good. You go all the bad messages out of context you've ever sent.
It's been happening a lot.
Yeah.
So this girl, there's one right here. The girl's name's Bebe Rexha, right? And again, I'm just picking one. There's 15,000 right now. I've seen 3 things on Twitter in the last 2 days where girls like, yeah, you think he's a good guy? Well, check those out. Called me.
We need a scumbag Steve.
He yelled at me once.
We need a female scumbag Steve meme.
It's scumbag
Sarah, scumbag Sarah.
Scumbag Sarah should be any girl that posts the messages of the guy she dated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what the crazy part is? Would you ever in your life date a girl that she was publicly like fucking released every text message of her last boyfriend? And someone will.
Hell no.
And some idiot will. But you
Look,
got to be out of your mind.
Call me old school, but if you're a lady and you get fucked over by a guy, just slash his tires. Move on with your life.
Flash the tires. I'll take a tire slash.
Yeah, tire slashing, that's so inconvenient.
They don't
if you're a
want this
guy.
tire slashed down. They want the reputation
It's so
slashed
satisfying, too, to slash tires. Like, it's like instant gratification. You slash those bad boys.
Oh, there you go.
Chicks love that stuff.
There's you get in there, just slash some tires. You don't need to get those messages out there.
Need to get the messages out there forever.
I think honestly, it used to be. You're saying if you're famous, I think like the friggin' plumbers need to be walking around handing out NDAs right and left. You honestly need a personal NDA. Every guy in the future is just going to be like, before you even go on a date, you're signing NDAs.
That should be the new dating app. Like that should be like,
NDA
honestly,
included in the app.
Yeah, it's in the app.
What girl would sign up for the NDA?
But the guy
dating
signs
app?
it too. Everybody's signing the NDA.
But you have to convince the girls it's good for them somehow.
Well, I mean, say it's like a new tier on Raya. So it's like people are already on Raya,
Well,
right?
that's because that's where the good guys
That's
are.
where the high end one or whatever, right? So it's like Raya, but with NDAs, but for both parties, right? You're not even saying like, oh, only the women have to sign it. Everybody's signing an NDA.
I know that, but why would the girl care?
Equality. I don't know.
We actually have an okay pitch on that, where because she's like, means I can't talk about you in my act.
Yeah, for sure.
We actually know a few people that have had NDAs where they can't talk about their
I won't
their
slander
comedy.
you on my podcast.
Perfect, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I would do that.
I
anyway,
won't get a billboard at Times Square.
And I'm planning to. And honestly,
You know
before
how cheap they are?
this is you before you've even been on the date telling her this.
This is just.
She's like,
And then it's like three followed by like, hello, bitch.
she's like, what is this paperwork? You're sitting in the other room, your bodyguards having to sign the paperwork, you're on the side, you work at the bank, you know what I mean? And she's like, why? And you go, oh, I just want to show you the price of billboards right now before you said you don't sign this.
I know you said I'm not famous or anything, but look, damage can be done. Look.
Well, really, obviously the girl does
For both of us.
She comes across a little bit like, what is this guy about to do?
Well, then he'd be like, look, just with what's going on, it's been mostly women.
I'm saving you from me. This is for you, man.
Yeah, I'm saving you from yourself.
Yeah.
It's everybody's wins here. Like, again, it's not Tiger Woods where Tiger, like, she was never like, hey, Tiger, you signed an NDA too. And he's like, well, why would I do that? You know, it's like, obviously. So it's like both parties sign the NDA and there's no disclosure. You just have a relationship.
Obviously, I think this is we're living in a dream world that this is going to happen.
Yeah.
This is the number one. They love doing it, man. It's their
You're
favorite
more likely
thing
to trick a woman into signing an NDA than actually getting her to sign one.
Okay, well, that might not hold up in court, though, right?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
That she was inebriated or something like that.
I was just thinking maybe you'd have her like.
Got to use the lover boy method to get her signed an NDA.
Hey, can you sign some things for me?
Hey, baby.
Hey, what is it? No, what about this? He goes, it's so crazy. Like, they don't really teach kids cursive anymore, huh? Isn't that crazy? Do you remember, like, learning your signature?
What does your John Hancock look like?
Kids these days, huh? They just stopped teaching them cursive. Like, they'll never need it. Anyways, did you learn cursive?
What do you want me to do to you? I want you to pop your John Hancock on here.
Pop the old John Hancock on here.
Oh, there's nothing that get me so hot if you just pop the John Hancock on this fucking
on this blank document.
this,
anywhere.
On this 18-page NDA. Yeah, baby, I want to just get your fucking Hancock on here.
Okay.
I'm grabbing your
You
cock.
You a freak, huh?
Oh, you a real freak, huh? So I'm just going to read you a little bit of this. What the big expose was for this guy, too, by the way.
Do we know who the guy is? The poor chump?
Yeah, he's like a rich dude.
The rich dude.
He's a rich dude.
Public?
Singers, that is the mold. Like, most female singers sort of end up with a rich dude. You know what I mean? That's a pretty common.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, because they can't. I mean, female singers. That's people, they've made this joke about a lot of people, but it's, how does a female singer change the light bulb? She just puts her hand on it and the world revolves around her. And you've heard that about other things too, but it originally is a female singer joke. It's like a genre of musician joke.
Okay.
Because there's and if you even watch, like, it's they'll go through, no one will go through like, very extreme serious relationships like female singers.
Yeah.
They are the most.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard, right? They're just like, they've been a superstar since they were young. They've had everyone doing everything for them. They're so powerful that I think it's hard for them to sort of relinquish any power to a guy, which causes
and they're just not normal people anymore. They've like just probably lost touch with reality.
Lost touch with reality. They're stuck in the sort of middle ground of not wanting a simp, but also can't ever let like a guy be important because they're the center of the universe.
Right.
So they end up in this situation where they try to turn a powerful guy into a simp, and that becomes like an issue with them, or they pick a simp and then I don't like him.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, especially if you pick a simp and you're this multi-millionaire famous person. So it is hard for them to find like a person with all them being that famous and psychopaths.
Yeah.
And the biggest psychopaths in the history of the universe.
And generally, like if you're a female singer, like obviously there are like the Whitney
Popular one.
Houstons and the whatnot where you go, that's a very talented singer, but a lot of them are like, they're fine.
He's just a pop star.
You're just a pop star. You're not the best singer in the world.
Yeah, maybe the soulful ones are a little different.
Like Whitney Houston, she's like, okay, that's a really good singer. But
See,
like,
I'm
a lot
not-
of them are just like, whatever.
I'm not really talking about, and he left me on Friday, and now it's Saturday. I'm talking about that less than like, like in a dingy jazz club, like
gotcha. Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
My girl, Michael Bolton, Michelle Bolton.
Bolton.
Well, this girl, her big expose was that this guy called her fat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then basically,
A guy she was dating called her fat, or her boyfriend.
the rich boyfriend. And I'm just going to read a bit of his message. That's the expose. She's going through all the stuff, and this is the worst she's got on him. Hey, I never said you weren't beautiful. I never said I didn't love you. In fact, I said how beautiful you are and how much I love you. But I've always said I would be honest with you, and your face was changing, so I told you it was.
Damn.
There's nothing harder than explain. What are you supposed to do? There is no perfect answer. I know the old school wisdom is just
How
like,
long were they
no matter
together?
what she says, you tell her she looks great. It's like, to what end?
Yeah.
To what end? At what point do you speak up?
I mean, and not only that, but women
When
are so willing to go like get that fixed. Like if there's external, like, you know, filler and surgeries and Botox and all that stuff, like they're willing to go do that stuff, but they have to know.
Well, exactly.
How long were they together that he was noticing her face?
Well, she was probably
changing?
listening to the poison of, empowerment. You know what I mean?
She's one of those.
Because no one's giving these broads the right answer.
Like, where she have a mustache now? Where he goes, I'm really noticing the facial changes. You have a mustache.
Everyone's afraid of these ladies. I'm telling you, female singer, they're like tyrants, right?
Yeah.
Even the makeup artist and the fitting person, you know what I mean? I bet you they have like wardrobe people that are like scratching off XL and turning it into L just because they don't want to.
Yeah, totally. She goes, I'm not an extra large.
And you go, oh, of course you're not. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then she goes, I think you might be extra large. She goes, fire her.
Yeah,
they're like old school tyrants.
Yeah. You gotta watch out for him.
I was laughing with Corinne. The idea was she was saying that like not wanted to give head because it's like degrading, so a guy has to make it not degrading. I was saying that like, oh, I have an offering for you, my queen. Oh, yeah, that's the only way.
It's the only way.
Oh, if it is me, I'm your servant, with a helping for my high queen, but I am a mere house peasant, offering you your dinner, sir.
That'd be tough for those girls who like to be degraded.
Well, if it's degrading, it's easy. It's the ones that don't.
that's-
Because there is those girls that are just like, I want to be freaking talked to, but not degraded.
Yeah.
You have to find.
It's a tough one.
You have to find it. So that's what I was saying. Is like they have to sort of make it nice and dirty. Like, here comes the airplane. You gotta. You have to sort of find the. But I think the best way is the medieval peasant outfit and just being like, oh, my high queen, nothing would bring me greater joy than if I were to be able to fill your orifice. It would be such an honor. That's what you have to do with those girls. You got to trick them, and you got to beat their own programming.
Yeah, you only have to trick those girls.
Well, this girl, at what point though? At what point when she's breaking floorboards, can you say something? Or you just have to never. No, you have to just, once you date a girl, you never tell her anything's bad ever.
That's how some chicks want it. How the empowered queens. That's how they like to have it.
The empowered queen is like
The
it like
empowered
that.
queens do not want to be told what to do.
The empowered queens want to be told they look great forever. They'll stop asking at the very least. What am I, your friggin' yes man? That's what they want, a yes man.
Yeah, that's fine. That's what the girlfriends are for. You just like
Danny Yesman.
the yes man.
No, so I'll tell you what. I would be in this problem as well because, and I'll tell you what,
I wanna know how much
I
her
wouldn't have
face
handled it
is
as much as
changing.
this guy.
Yeah.
This girl, she asked me that. She goes, well, I want you to be on. I'd send her a before and after is what I'd freaking say.
I wonder how much the face has changed. Like what time frame?
Well, apparently she put on like 40 pounds or something. Okay, here we go. You gained 35 pounds. Obviously, you gained weight and your face changes, right?
So he's trying to actually be like, I think he is. So I think I'm understanding this a little better now. So obviously her body has changed way more than her face.
Yeah, you were sort of zoning in on the face.
But he's just saying the face because he's trying to be like, yeah, like he almost wants to be like, your face.
You look like a friggin' pancake.
But
lady.
I think he's trying to more like relate to how he thinks he could like turn this boat around. Like if he targets her body, maybe he thinks that'll be more of a sore spot.
Possibly.
So he's just being like, your face is kind of, you don't want your face to look bad.
Body looks amazing with the 40 pounds. And honestly, this is like one of those girls that puts on weight okay because she sort of just has that like Kardashian-y look where it's not a total slob job. It's just whatever. She's a famous singer. Again, do whatever you want. But it's like, and I get it. You're just like, hey, I'm this famous singer. If I want to put on weight, I can put on weight. And yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
But if you ask the guy the question,
for sure,
he's got to lie.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
You haven't put on a pound.
What's your name?
Scale says to be continued.
One at a time.
Have you ever told the girl she's put on weight?
No.
You wouldn't have those stones, eh?
The current one, but more joking.
Joke, never serious.
Yeah, constantly joking. Never serious. No. I mean, look at me. Ugh.
What you have to do is you have to fight fire with fire. You have to put on some weight yourself, and then you go, we need to lose a bit of weight. That's the only way
that is the real only approach.
That's the real only good approach.
We're really tipping the scales here. Yeah, I don't think you can... You gotta have some fucking unless you're like some dude who's a crazy workout guy,
and then you sort of have a joint scale, and every day the two of you step on together.
Right.
Look at us trying to lose weight.
Yeah, and you're forcing them to go to the gym,
and then you're basically like, "Hey, I don't think you're pulling your weight in us losing weight."
And then she's like, "Who put the padlock on the fridge? I'd like to get in here." You go, "This is our padlock.
We are holding the hands together. We stand in solidarity."
But she's like, "But you know the code, and I don't." He goes, "I know.
I've forgotten the code."
I have a locksmith coming tomorrow and every day after that at the same time to unlock the...
He goes, come on, I gained 3 pounds and you call me chubs. So this girl's giving it back, honestly. Doesn't mean you don't love me. If you're trying to find reasons to break up, this makes sense, but it's not the real reason. Oh, this guy's a smart dude. He's like a rich older dude, right? Okay. So he's not his first rodeo, that's for sure.
I mean, if he's rich enough, he's like, he's like literally in our unwritten agreement. He's like, I need you like a little less weight. Yeah.
It is an unwritten agreement.
He's just like, I can't be poor and you can't be fat.
Exactly. It is. You're very right that it is an
like I lose all my money, you leave. You gain too much weight, I leave.
But this guy's been through this path before, and it's not his first rodeo where the horse gets broken. If you're unhappy with me or yourself or life and you don't see a future with us, that's fine. But don't. Anyways, he goes on to that. The guy played it very well. Yeah, he goes, listen.
And she exposed him.
I think you're beautiful. You put on a couple. Yeah. No big deal. I think what you're doing right now is something else. This ain't about, me just telling the truth about your weight.
Yeah,
what you're doing right now is something else. And if that's what you want to, that's the road you want to go down, then you are welcome to go to. Don't try to put this on me because I made a comment, which is true.
Yeah.
This guy's bang on.
Very,
and she posts
diplomatic.
this. She posts this to be like, can you believe this guy? And you read this thing, anyone with a brain
it seems nice.
Is like a lot nicer than most people would have done.
Did she name him or no?
It's a big public figure.
Okay.
I don't remember the guy's name or whatever.
We're not gonna embolden that kind of behavior by naming these names on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I'm not loving this new thing that girls are doing.
No.
Honestly, I think our NDA thing is gonna have to be in place soon.
This is like revenge porn, but like the female version.
Females.
This is revenge porn for women.
This is such female revenge porn.
This should be illegal. Revenge porn is illegal.
It's revenge. What do they call it? Like food porn?
It's just revenge.
Well, in her case, it's food bukkake.
It's just revenge, which they say is a dish served cold, but she'll never let it get to that point.
Dish served cold. Once it gets cold, the padlock comes on.
She goes, I've never got to that point. So
we were talking about this off camera, but the Taliban endorses Threads.
No, Twitter.
No, not Twitter. Sorry. Yeah. So the Taliban. First of all, we should just say people are getting paid on Twitter.
Yeah, well, 10 people got paid.
I thought it was more than 10.
Or like, it was, no.
Dude, the Krasestein brothers are friggin'...
No, just the one Krasestein.
They're swimming in money. They're posting photos doing Scrooge McDucks in a pool of coins.
The thing is, so yes, the Krasestein, the Internet Hall of Fame dude got $100,000.
That guy's a bit... how crazy it is that this guy just legitimately posts memes that he found and he's making $100K.
But people were kind of... So this was the first batch to kind of get it. And it was a really savvy move by Elon, because he did this basically... He announced it in February, but then on the heels of like a week after Threads came out, and Threads was starting to already like lose some steam.
Well, Taliban's off.
Yeah. Taliban's done with Threads. I mean, everybody's done with Threads. Sucks.
Threads was a one-day experiment.
Literally, I'm like, I maybe go check it once a week now, and I go, oh yeah,
me too.
It's crappy as it was.
Threads
before.
stinks.
Threads blows.
Beat it,
for an app that has 120 million users on it. It's like maybe the biggest dud.
It legitimately, you go on and it's almost like fake. I've never seen anything like this. It was like everyone kind of used it because it forced everyone to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone posted one or two things, and then every 3 days someone goes back and is being like, still doing this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't search on there. Like, search is one of the best features of Twitter, is that you can use it as a search engine.
I think they missed their opportunity.
They missed it completely, but then, like, a very savvy move by Elon to be like, hey, we're paying people now. Here's the first, which I crunched the numbers. It's, I think you get for $5 million, $50 for 5 million impressions, which is like 5 million impressions is like nothing, obviously.
Okay.
But like, so that Internet Hall of Fame dude was getting billion, like to get $100,000 is like, we're talking.
But an impression's like easier to get than a view, right? And they just sit there and tweet all day. Like the Krasestein's fingers are like almost gnawed off. It's
1 cent per 1,000 impressions.
Okay, well, whatever it is, these people are getting paid.
Yeah, they're getting paid. Yeah. But it was because there's a lot of people who were very mad because they're like, why aren't I getting paid? I meet all the criteria. And the first batch of people was pretty much hand selected by Elon. It was a smart move to just get the word out that there's happening. Hopefully they roll it out like fairly to everybody. I don't know how that's going to work though, but yeah. Anyways, Threads stinks.
Threads stinks.
Threads is dead.
And the Taliban basically. Everyone, it's pretty funny that a lot of the Taliban guys are just like in the mix.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember, because everyone just thinks like the Taliban, the way, it's almost, you really just associate it with like, actual like terrorists blowing up the thing, but you go, they're the government.
Yeah, they're the government. Yeah.
It's funny to think of though. You know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, the fucking Taliban. You're like, you mean the government?
Yeah, the government. They just have a cooler name.
Yeah, it's like they're like bureaucrats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like we've even said before, they don't like their office jobs. Like this guy's like the Ministry of Agriculture, and we're like the Taliban.
This guy, the guy specifically in this article is like the chief philosopher of the government.
They have a chief philosopher.
That's who this guy is.
It's a solid name.
Yeah, he's like the chief philosopher.
Well, he basically said he was obviously. What they really are saying is they are kind of like, not super pro LGBTQ and all that sort of stuff. And he's basically saying whatever we post on Threads, they're censoring us, whereas the Taliban has free roam on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's just, to me, it's obviously funny, a guy like doing
He's like, do you know how hard it is to recruit people on Threads? Are you kidding?
Our beheading video got taken down in 45 minutes on Threads because
cancel culture.
Yeah.
Actually, Taylor Lorenz was like, she was getting all mad because she had all these posts taken down on Threads. Like, she was like, later, Twitter, fuck off, losers. And then, like, she's on Threads and they're removing her posts.
What kind of posts?
Like, whatever. I don't know. I don't even remember. But they were like their community guidelines are way stricter.
Well, exactly.
On Threads especially. So, yeah, it stinks.
Yeah, the Taliban wanted to get there. Like, I obviously the Taliban's not posting beheading videos anymore. No, they're not. But it is funny.
This is another dub for them though, because when this came out was like the day after Threads came out, and like literally, I mean, that's another organization that the Taliban toppled. It's Threads. Threads is done.
I always love it when like Osama bin Laden's like brother, and it'll be like Ben Bin Laden. You know what I mean?
He's born in Houston.
Yeah, and he just like loves Trump and stuff like that. Osama bin Laden's niece is like a big TikToker.
Yeah.
And she started her own. She started her own. Do you know what it was called?
No.
TikTok. All right. So we're going to move on here for a second. Some other stuff to talk about. Enough about the Krasnsteins.
that shit right there.
Enough about the Krasensteins.
You think the Krasensteins are beefing though because the one brother didn't get any money? Well, there's only one of them. That's not a shared account. They each have their own account.
Well, the Krasenstein brother that was getting money,
Yeah.
he legitimately went on vacation because he got so much money. He posted, he's like, needed vacation from tweeting.
Yeah, from tweeting. Yeah. I mean, people, they probably gave out, I would guess the total is about $500,000, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things.
Still.
But if they actually start giving out...
Dude, if you're a guy that does that all day, every day, and they're just like, hey, here's 40 grand for doing that, you're like, what?
Yeah, it's an amazing bonus, but you also have to think, like, if you're getting, like 1 billion impressions a month, that should be worth more than the money. Like the money that they're giving you is obviously nice, but you should be able to turn that into probably something
even
bigger.
Hopefully, but some of them can't, man. We know people that have big Twitters and they have a podcast with 45 people that listen to it.
It is true. Yeah,
the Twitter fame starts and dies on Twitter.
I mean, it is such a weird.
You are important nowhere other than Twitter.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get a few people to dingle over to your Substack.
Yeah. No, but then they ban Substack.
Exactly. I'm telling you.
That is true, yeah.
Your Twitter fame, for the most part, ends on Twitter.
Every social media app is an island. It's like its own island, basically. Where it's so hard to get people to like pop.
It's very difficult to get people to pop over.
Yeah.
Stop, drop. Thank you very much. I need somebody with Factor's touch.
Oh.
That's what we're telling you about. We're in the thick of summer over here. You might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals to support these sunny, active days. The sun is shining, so why not America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit? They can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, stay on track, reaching your goals. Me personally, this is something that I've been doing. It's made my life much easier. Some of you might know that I'm a busy guy. I'm a busy bee. Danny's a busy bee.
Buzzing around.
Buzzing around. Danny Bolshock likes his Factor meals. That's something he eats till he's done. Till he's
doing his deals.
What he's doing is deals. If you're too busy with summer plans to cook, but you want to make sure you're eating well with Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the shopping, the prepping, the cleaning up too, while getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So that's all it takes with Danny. That's all it takes with Factor. That's all it takes with me too. Solidarity.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is heat up and enjoy. Then you're back outside, frolicking in the summer weather. You're not out here cooking away in the kitchen. And are you ready to feel your best while making the most out of your summer adventures? Stick to your wellness goals with premium ready-to-eat meals featuring high-quality ingredients like broccolini leeks, asparagus. Treat yourself to 34-plus weekly restaurant quality options like bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, and grilled steakhouse filet mignon, which is a favorite of the kid. Ready in just 2 minutes. Too busy running around to think about lunch, perhaps? Keep your energy up with Lunch to Go, effortless, wholesome meals, grain bowls, and salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go. No microwave required for those.
None.
If you're looking for calorie-conscious options this summer, try delicious dietitian-approved calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. You need an extra boost to support your wellness goals this summer? Try the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein per serving. Factor offers delicious flavor-packed options on the menu each week to fit a variety of lifestyles, from keto to calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, Protein Plus, prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. Each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long while meeting your goals. And if you're looking to mix it up, you can add a protein to your select vegan plus veggie meals each week. Round out your meal and replenish the snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons, including breakfast items like delicious apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potato, bacon and egg breakfast skillet, or for an easy wellness boost, try refreshing beverage options like cold pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies.
Oh, the smoothies are so good.
Smoothies are a nice.
Money.
This July, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door. Ready in just 2 minutes, no prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/boyscast50 and use the code boyscast50 to get 50% off. 50%!
Woo!
That's code boyscast50 at factormeals.com/boyscast50 to get 50% off. So I saw Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
And you've, we were talking about this a bit last night, but you were the one that introduced me to the conspiracy theories. Last episode, I hadn't really heard that much about it.
Okay.
You've been pretty knee deep into this stuff.
Yeah.
And since I've seen, honest to God, every conspiracy theory probably under the sun about this movie.
Sure. Okay. So so give your review.
Give the backstory.
Of the conspiracy theory. Well, the QAnon stuff. So there's the QAnon stuff. So Jim Caviezel is the star of the movie. He has been on record as saying he believes that they are they're basically global elites are harvesting children's organs to make adrenochrome, which then the elites.
This is the star or the writer?
This is the star, Jim Caviezel, who's also Jesus in the Passion of the Christ.
So this guy's in the mix.
And so gives the interviews like with Steve Bannon and stuff where he's like, he believes adrenochrome is real, which is like, the pretty far out conspiracy. And he thinks like the global elite, and the way that they get it is they terrorize like little children, and it's like they're so scared, and then they kill them.
Come on,
and
really?
That's how it's not true, right?
But the gist of it is that like it's sort of like certain animals, like the lobsters, where they want to burn them alive because it makes them taste better. Or whatever.
Or whatever. So
they're saying the kids like you can only get the juices if they're scared.
Yeah, if they're like the most terrified they could possibly be. So they're like they torture these kids to basically it releases this adrenochrome.
If you had that, you would have like if there was a certain secretion that worked better if the person was disappointed. We need to kill the women. It's like you kill women, and then the secretions will help us live forever. But the girl needs to be mildly disappointed moments before.
And she bring her to the place. She goes,
bring him in. Then they have Danny on like a leash, like on your neck. Like, you're basically.
She's like, "Oh, you're really gonna kill me in this fucking shitty place?" I go,
perfect. And you will have sex with the beast first. Who's the beast? Bring in the beast.
Hey.
This is you call that a beast?
Yeah, they call me the beast. I'm actually on Ozempic, but
you're the beast.
I only just started, so still probably the beast. Anyways,
do you want to get into smashing or?
I guess just missionary. Yeah, I don't know. You pull down your pants, you go, I don't know why they call me the beast.
Oh, I'm having some problems.
Can you turn around, please? I'd probably get it up easier if you're just not looking at me.
Do you mind if I keep my shirt on?
Oh, shit.
I'm the beast.
I'm the beast.
Bring in the beasts. Brr, brr, beast approaching. You rollerblading, but you don't have the energy to rollerblade yourself, so you stand there and someone pushes you.
I just hit the wall.
Take off your helmet. I'm the beast. Beast mode engaging.
But anyways, yeah. So he's a QAnon guy. Like he's legitimately like he's just like believes in QAnon stuff. So then they decided that they would smear the whole movie with basically like, oh, the star believes in this QAnon stuff, therefore everything in it's lies.
Okay, but he didn't write it.
He didn't write it. No, the weird thing is that it was written like it was in the can, which is like
that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago, and then Disney owned it. I think Disney owned it or Fox owned it. There was some deal that happened.
Tried to make it disappear?
They did make it disappear. They didn't. It was like paid for, produced, edited.
Do you think that's why they bought it to make it disappear?
I don't know.
They shelve it, as they call it.
I think because what happens, I think the original, whoever originally made it and owned it, just shelved it. They're like, we're not putting this out. And then it was sitting, and then someone bought, I think it was Fox or Disney, some deal happened, and then whoever the new company that bought it was like, we have this movie, and then they had it released. Okay. So it was the new acquirer was like, we have this movie, let's release it.
You want to know the main conspiracy that was true? What? So one of the big ones that I heard was that they were turning the air condition off in every theater that this was played. Yeah. No AC at the theater I saw it in.
Really?
And not kidding. So I walked.
What?
Swear to God.
This is in New York City.
Hand to a
wow.
In New York
Because I asked
City.
you specifically if it was because there's another one where people would be like, "There's nobody in the theater, but all the tickets were sold or whatever," and they're like, "It's empty." People were, which that I was like, because they are giving away tickets, so maybe they bought them up.
They give away a lot of tickets.
or whatever. People didn't show, but
No,
this
so
is-
I go in as soon as I arrive. They go, "Hey, just so you know, if you're seeing Sound of Freedom, the AC is off in that theater. If you want, you can switch the movie to a different movie."
Yeah.
And then I just said no.
They go, we have a double screening of Cuties going on in Theater 9.
It was pretty uncomfortable, by the way.
That's crazy.
It stunk.
It's like the middle of summer in New York. It's like,
It was crappy.
that sucks.
Yeah, so that conspiracy was. I would just say, as a review, it's just like a movie.
What? But here,
But-
okay, I'll tell you this. I definitely, the type of person who works at a movie theater is like a non-binary, like purple-haired college student.
So you
kinda
think
thing.
there's some of that?
They're probably like, yeah, this is like a QAnon thing, like right-wing QAnon thing. They're like, we don't want people to see it.
So you think it's like a minor?
I don't think it's like
They're on the movie theater message boards. You know,
Yeah.
like popcornjunkie.com, and popcorn junkies are all like, we're standing in solidarity to
I think
shut this
so.
puppy down.
Well, it's just the
Anyone
people
have
who work
ideas?
there, and I think they just
Make
were
it
like,
slightly less comfortable.
like they're probably like people are showing up in New York City with like USA like T-shirts and stuff and like USA hats, and it's very triggering for the employees
This-
who work there.
This is what I concluded.
Yeah.
Is that if there is a conspiracy, they're putting it in the crappy theater.
Yeah.
And then the crappy theater, the AC doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Were you in a crappy theater?
No, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying that maybe they were like, you're right. it
I don't
wasn't
know
a
if that's how. I don't know if that's how. I'm sure someone's listening to this who's less of a bug man than myself. I don't know if AC works that way, where you're like,
Okay.
you're like it's just out in the. I mean, maybe where it's out in the one theater, but I imagine there's like a whole system that air conditions the entire theater,
Okay, so it's falling apart.
like the
my
whole
theory.
building. I don't know.
Well, the movie is just a normal movie, but like, I wouldn't. If there wasn't all this talk about it, which is, I guess, what they wanted, I wouldn't have watched it because, like, for me, it's like it's not really fun to just watch kids get like molested for 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
You're just like, it's almost. I don't really like to watch torture movies. I don't like to watch.
Yeah, I don't like horror. I don't even watch horror.
No, because horror movies, you go, it's not really that fun for me to go sit. Girls love watching a family just get like tortured like ghosts for 2 hours.
Dude,
Sick fucks.
I've been like with some people where like I had friends or whatever like, and they want to watch like a horror movie and you watch it and I'm like, what's wrong with you? You like this? This is like something weird about like.
Why do they like it so much?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I hate all the tricks in horror movies, like all the jump cuts and scares and.
It's all the same movie. A family moves to a house and then they get terrorized by ghosts and then they die.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
then hopefully
some
they
of
get
them
a
are.
part
I like
two.
the Saw movies and stuff, but yeah, I
Do
don't
ya?
know. Yeah.
Well, whatever. Obviously, there's some that are better than others. But my thing is, I don't really enjoy the like guy getting tortured for
No.
fucking 2 hours, right? So now it's this with kids. The pedophiles in the movie, the main pedophiles, it's pretty funny that they actually went with the classic pedophile look.
I saw
The
that. You know
mustache,
what?
like-
you want to know something funny about that? Actually, so I saw
They went vintage on it.
I saw that, and then I saw the still when it first came out, and I actually went on
Comedy sketch.
I went on IMDb to find where that person was credited because I wanted to know what they called him in
Pedophile number 3.
Like I wanted to be like, because then you like the idea like you're going for an audition and you're auditioning for pedophile number.
That must have been a creepy ass. Do you think that? Yeah. Do you think that there was anyone in that audition room just being like, "Are you a real one?" Like, you know what I mean?
I wanted to know, but I couldn't find it in the credits. Like what?
Well,
they
the fun. So this is the funniest part about the whole deal, right? So, and this is probably where all the controversy came from. So at the end of this movie, it ends and then it goes special message coming in 60 seconds or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you think it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be, right?
Okay.
Maybe a little sampler of what happens in the second episode.
Okay.
what happens in the universe, But then it ends and the actor comes on screen. He's like, what we just watched is something that happens every day. We all want to stop this. Child trafficking is one of the most terrible things in the world, which is why you should buy more tickets for other people. And if you want to buy tickets, obviously some of you, maybe more indifferent, don't really care about child sex trafficking getting stopped.
Yeah.
But for those of you who do actually want to make a difference that are sitting here, we're going to put this QR code on the screen. So let's get this QR code up, pop that on your phone, and then we want you to donate. Maybe, you buy tickets for 2 people. You buy tickets for your friends. Maybe your whole family comes. Maybe you come again. And this guy's going on and on, right? They got the QR code. Basically, if you don't like kids being molested, but he turns into a pitch man, like real quick, right? He goes from, this is the worst thing that's probably happening in our world. Buy 2, buy 4, buy 6, buy 8. Get them on the screen. Get that QR code up there. Get your phones out, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get those tickets.
So how many did you buy?
My eyes were closed, man.
My phone wasn't working.
My phone wasn't working.
Try that QR codes. Those are tricky sometimes.
You'd see some people that were like, on new dates, and the girl's just like, the guy's like, oh yeah, buy
the girl's like, you're not a fucking pedophile, are you?
Then he switches from that, being like, he talks about that for a couple minutes, being like, you need to buy those tickets unless you like kids getting.
This is after the credits?
Well, the credits kind of happen half, and then there's sort of the other half. I think they go, unless you like watching this, you hope this happens more in real life, you're going to want to buy tickets. Also, he's like, again, this is one of the most terrible things that can happen in the world, and we need to raise awareness. So when you're watching a movie like that, there's no better place to watch it than the movie theater. You got your popcorn, you got the big screen, you got the surround sound, and he starts going on about how the theater experience is so great. You know what I mean? So he's talking about, he's like, and the theater, he goes, nothing beats the cinema. I know we got some cinephiles in here, pardon my friend. And
that's the only files that are in here, hopefully.
So he's going on and on about how the movie theater experience, nothing beats it. You got the comfy
And you're still
chair.
just watching it? What are you waiting for?
Well, I'm watching it because it's funny at this point.
Okay.
At this point, I'm just
but everybody's just like, is everybody just like looking around being like,
well, if you don't want to leave, because some of you may be leaving right now, probably to have sex with kids. Other people, it's like the whole implication is that if you
You're like, if you do not pay attention right now.
Yeah, it's very accusatory almost. So then, people have kind of reluctantly. So a part of the reason it's probably sold so many tickets is everyone sits there. It's like a chain letter that if you don't forward on, they're going to kill your grandmother. You're going to get 7 years of bad luck. So they basically give you a chain letter at the end, and if you don't buy tickets for 2 other people, you basically sentence 4 kids to their grave.
You just killed them. You should go hang out outside of them and interview people as they stream out of there. Be like, so how many tickets did you buy?
How many tickets did you buy? They're like, 4, pedo. You're no better than them.
Just 4, huh?
You're no better than them, pal.
Oof.
And then probably the other thing that struck me was that how many people, it can't possibly be that this many people are pedophiles.
Yeah.
They legitimately, they go, at one point they go, we have a hotel, and then they're just 300 kids in the hotel, and then all these famous people come through and have sex with kids, and then all the gang members are having sex with kids. You go, can't be that many. Is everyone
I don't know. I was also of that, and then I've just the Epstein stuff, and I had this guy on last night about Nick Bryan about the Franklin scandal. There's so many pedophiles. It's crazy.
Yeah, how is
it's unbelievable.
What is it like? But even if you were, I feel like how many are they catching? If there's millions, why aren't they catching more?
I don't know. Apparently, the guy who was based off of
how they have a hotel? How they have a pedophile hotel operating?
Because it's in it's Colombia or something.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't know if they operate. I mean,
what policemen? It's one. Okay, here's the thing. Even gang members and mafia and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You feel like they'd be like, listen, I will be involved in your corrupt crime, but then they're like, hey, do you want to guard the hotel while people come in and have sex with children? You probably be like, what? I didn't get into being a criminal for this.
No.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? What?
Yeah, I agree. But there's the guy Tim Ballard who it's based off of or whatever. He was in the organization that it's whatever based off of him. Apparently there were some things that were not true, they were embellished.
So some people were saying
for movie purposes, there's some stuff that was embellished, as they do in movies.
The fact that they call this a true story, some of the stuff had to be super untrue.
Yeah, I think so. But there is
the one guy. They have a scene where he's watching he has to watch all the child porn, and he's just single tears dripping down his face while he's just looking at hours and
that
hours.
was Jim Caviezel did an interview, and he was talking about preparing for the movie, and he basically was yeah, I had to watch a ton of child porn.
What? How is that not illegal?
It was
well, that would be the life hack for these pedophiles being oh no, I'm making
join the FBI.
No, I'm making a student film. You know what I mean?
Well, it was with the guy who at the FBI.
Still, what the hell? This guy's in the movie and they let him watch it?
Some people's jobs at the FBI are to watch.
Yeah, well, his job isn't that. His job is an actor.
Yeah, but I guess they brought him into the whole.
Stop
world.
it.
There's an interview where
get the hell out of town.
Essentially insinuates where they're are you ready to watch? And he's yeah, he's because this is so important. And he's it's the most horrific stuff. But he just has to
Well, I don't get. Do you have to get a secret pass from the government? Because wouldn't that be illegal?
Look, I'm sure there's court proceedings where if you're some pedophiles on trial where like they show the jury all this stuff.
This guy's doing a ride along with the freaking
Kind of
like this. I understand you're going to be a cop. You get to do a ride along for a day. This guy gets to do a ride along with the guy who watches the CP.
I guess.
Stop it.
There's an interview. I saw it on Twitter. Someone posted an interview where he's talking about it and he goes like, yeah, like it was so important that I did this. Like he's like, it was horrifying and I didn't want to do it.
They only wanted me to do it for 5 minutes, but because I care about acting so much, I've actually even kept doing it after the movie because I'm like doing a after the fact method acting.
Super method. Speaking of super method,
just in case there's a sequel. That's
you never know about
nuts.
the method actors. I saw Michael Shannon from Boardwalk Empire.
No,
and he was in
probably if I saw
Superman.
him.
You know him for sure. He's a super famous actor, Michael Shannon. I saw him in the West 4th Street. I wondered about this a lot. The West 4th Street subway station. You know him?
Yeah, I know him. Of course.
So he walked right by me, and he was dressed like a total schlub, and he was literally just talking to himself in West 4th Street station.
Oh,
like
God.
he's walking, and he's like
unbearable.
Literally, he's like. I'm like, and I walk by him. I go, this is like just like some psycho. And then I'm
Guy
like,
plays small roles too. He's doing all that.
he was like nominated for Best Actor, I believe, for Academy Award. Like,
that's true,
very
but he plays
recently.
guy number 4 in a lot of movies.
Yeah, but he's like a great character actor, and he's literally just like
Talking to
walking
himself?
around muttering to himself, like dressed like like it was so weird. And I was like, that can't be him because he had blonde hair. And then I went and Googled it, and he has blonde hair.
He's doing a
And
method thing,
I guess, or he's just lost it. I don't know.
or both. These guys, they're nuts to begin with.
Yeah, I guess some actors are just like nuts, but I was like, you're like pretty famous to just be walking around, just being like muttering.
That is the like hack if you're a big famous actor, being like, I'm playing an asshole for someone to be for the next 8 months. I'm gonna be coming home, you stupid bitch, don't have dinner on the table. You didn't see?
Yeah, and then
that I'm in Bad Husbands in 2085. Yeah,
You want me to get an Oscar like Daniel Day-Lewis or no? Because it's up to you.
You call that a fucking dinner? You nothing. You're a nothing. No man would ever slapping her. Yeah. It's like, I'm a method actor. I mean, what isn't on the table if you're freaking doing a ride along watching CP?
I guess, yeah.
That's friggin' nuts, dude.
Yeah. It's
Also, just a quick thing on the movies and we'll move on, but Nefarious, it's another one where there's like a thing. Nefarious is labeled controversial for calling out woke culture. 35 on Rotten Tomatoes, 96 on audience score. And I just want to give a quick opposite of a referral. This is the worst piece of junk I've ever seen in my life.
What?
Buddy?
You watch this too? What'd
So
you do, a double
apparently the
feature?
guy who made it's Christian, right? And he did an okay job of disguising it because he did both points. This movie is about a guy who is a serial killer, right?
Yeah.
And then this is such a piece of crap. I don't even know where to start, dude. First of all,
Glenn Beck is the third cast member.
Well, Glenn Beck, Glenn Beck plays Glenn Beck, basically.
Oh, okay.
So there's a scene at the end of the movie where he goes on the Glenn Beck show to talk about how
Gotcha.
Jesus. So I'll just give a quick synopsis for people. I'm not trying to be the cinema cast here,
Yep.
but I can't not tell you how bad this is. So the first 45 minutes take place in the cell, and basically there's a guy going to death row, and he says he's a demon. That it's someone the hot shot therapist just like knows he's not a demon. He's just got split personalities, and then the demon starts telling him stuff, and he starts being like, and then there's abortions. He goes, the devil had you figure out how to kill all the kids for him. He doesn't even have to do the evil. And then the guy goes, what do you mean? The world's better than it ever been. Racism is at an all-time low. Sexism's at an all-time low. Homophobia has been at an all-time low. He goes, is it? Oh yeah. Or are you doing the devil's work? So this goes on for 45 minutes, right? And then he starts predicting stuff about him. And blah, blah, and he's a devil, and he goes, I'm going to get in your head, and the guy, you have to let me in. And he's like a demon, right?
Yeah.
Tells this whole story about the demon. Guy ended up going to the electric chair. Before he gets electrocuted, he transfers himself into the other guy's body.
Nice.
So the other guy goes, and then the demon jumps from the guy who was going to die into his body and goes, and then he picks up a gun and starts trying to shoot everyone. And then somehow he expels the demon. And then he goes on the Glenn Beck podcast tour to tell everyone, like, I was wrong. The demon is there. And the demon wanted him to write a book because he thought it was going to be his Bible.
Yeah.
And he goes, I wrote a book telling you why you shouldn't be that. So he did the opposite.
Where did you see this?
Well, because the devil thought that if he got this psychiatrist to write his book, this would be his Bible, like, because
Right,
he's
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Like, if some psychiatrist wrote a book right now being like, I talked to this demon and he told me that Jesus is bad and the devil's actually good, and this is why we should do that. It's like, it was going to change the world and be his Bible. This thing is maybe the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Where'd you watch it?
I don't know, one of the services.
Streaming. It's not in theaters.
Yeah, it looked like a good movie. He got a good title for him. Nefarious, great name too.
Yeah.
It looked up my alley. It was called Nefarious. It was like in a jail. It was like
Good poster.
yeah. It was a real piece of work. This thing.
All right. Well, not going to see that.
No, don't.
Yeah, it looks like a real piece of shit. It really pisses me off the more of these crappy... Well, I guess Sound of Freedom's not that, but it's just when crappy movies come out and you're like, just let us make a movie.
I'll tell you. This is. I don't know if you've seen the Snow White, and a lot of people. We're going to talk about the Disney thing for a second here.
Yeah.
So the Snow White thing, obviously, Dinklage is out there being like, get rid of the dwarves or whatever.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of the dwarves. She's not white, she's Latina, but she's like, honestly, she's not that
Like,
dark. It's
Snow
like
White's
whatever,
good.
right? Yes, it's still whatever. The crazy part, and obviously everyone's having debates over all that sort of stuff, right? Which is probably what they want. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what is crazy. Let me just read you Snow White's live action of Snow White. Instead of so Prince Charming coming to save a long lost Snow White, but instead this movie is focusing more on the main character following her leadership dreams. So this is
What? She's like breaking the glass ceiling or something? Is this what this is?
my friend. People are
I mean, look,
arguing.
I will say this isn't for us. This is still a kid's movie, right? At the end of the day.
No, but I don't care. Get rid of the dwarves and replace them with weirdos.
Dude,
You wanna make
Hollywood,
her
you
not
want
another
this-
color. This has to stop. Where they go, Little Red Riding Hood is now Little Red Riding CEO.
I'm telling you, Hollywood, you're this close to just every kid's thing being from the Daily Wire.
You are not favorable right now.
No, not with this shit.
Do you see the new UFC girl? She comes out and she was like, I just want to tell everyone we got to save those kids. The message is getting popular.
Yeah.
People have had enough.
Yeah. Oh, people have
This isn't really completely that. That's more of
this
it.
isn't that, but this is more. But you're like, look, you've agreed that dwarves is problematic.
Don't make it.
Surely, just don't make it.
Don't
Surely
make
you
it.
must have some other intellectual property.
They don't.
or
Their
think
brains are broken.
like I get it that like old IP is a safer bet, like IP you own. That's
well, because they
especially-
already own it. It's free.
They own
too.
it. Everybody knows what Snow White is. Like everybody knows. Snow
That's the
White.
big thing you're forgetting. It's all free because they own it.
Yeah, and everybody knows Snow White versus coming up with a new thing. But you're just like, look, you're not gonna fit. Like one of the guys is 6 feet tall. How do you have a 6 foot tall dwarf? Like what? What are you?
I'm telling you, that part, that seemed par for the course for me, obviously. I mean, even what I'm saying is par for the course, but the idea that Snow White's a new tale about... it's basically, they're making Snow White Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
The empowering... I can't remember whoever said this, but the women's hero's journey is just a girl that was always great, but she just didn't know how great she
Yeah,
was.
totally.
It's like...
And beautiful.
That's the part where it's like a girl that was always beautiful, great, and talented. The guys made her think that she wasn't as great as she already knew she was. And for a second, she doubted herself. And then she was able to release that doubt and realize that she was always great all along. It's like, it's the craziest, like, there's no...
Do we have any actual examples of any of this stuff actually being successful, by the way? Like
Snow White is a tale of a Latino boss bitch.
Yeah, you know what the problem is? Because everything's streaming now, there's no metrics for anything being a success or a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Indiana Jones is in theaters. What was the other big? There's a huge other big blockbuster, and they're both bombs. But like at least like they go, this is a bomb, this is a success, but streaming there's no metrics. They just
They have the metrics.
Well,
You just
they
don't
have the metrics, but they can't publicly being like, hey, your Little Mermaid was a piece of shit and like it lost money or whatever, because they don't know. It's like it's mostly streaming.
it's hard to find out.
Yeah, and they won't release it, and they won't release how much it's worth to them.
I wonder why that is.
I mean, why they won't release it?
Yeah.
Because they just that information is valuable, and I don't think they want their competitors to know. I mean, the whole actors writers
that's a
strike
good
part
point.
of it now is the strike is because they're like they won't even tell us, like we don't really know like what's successful, what's not. They keep that information to themselves. They just give us offers for money and. This is what you get, but that's the whole residual thing, right? Is they go like pay us for streams, like we want to actually get paid like something for every stream you get or whatever. I don't know. So But I mean, again, I don't know if these are successful or not, but I assume not.
No idea. I mean, maybe they make their money back, but there's nothing funny.
I mean, I think Disney Plus is their Star Wars shit makes all their money, and then everything else just gets paid for at the Star Wars fund.
What are some fairy tales? Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's another one?
Cinderella.
Well, Cinderella. How about Cinderella? Is a tale about this woman named Cinderella.
Yeah. She's trans.
Well, she's having trouble with her stepsisters.
Yeah.
They're giving her, she's obviously trans. They're giving her some shit. And then she finds out that she knows how to run Facebook better than Mark Zuckerberg, right? She's toiling around. She finds a laptop and she becomes this. She just realized she can code better than anyone in the world, right?
Yeah.
And she finds out a hack that she could run Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube better than all of the people working there combined. And she tells her stepsisters, she goes, hey guys, I figured out how I could run, the world better than all these men are running. And everyone goes, you're a woman, but then she goes back to her room, she codes, she makes a new Facebook in 15 seconds, just for fun.
I love it.
Nothing about anything, right? So she essentially does that. And then she takes her new idea to the market and she gets laughed out of the offices of all these investors and hedge funds. And they go, ha, a woman who can code. And they go, we already have a Zuckerberg. And she goes, but you're Zuckerberg, but you never met Cinderella Steinberg.
Yeah.
And then eventually she just has to break into the Facebook office where she sort of just takes Mark Zuckerberg down herself. She breaks in, then she takes Elon Musk down, and she essentially
snaps their necks.
Yeah, and during this time, she's sort of gaining support online, going viral because she's also a big influencer.
Yeah.
So she sort of has makeup tutorials and stuff like that, and she also has like a fitness blog, and she also has a
science, a STEM blog.
She's also
big in STEM.
So she's sort of like fighting down all of the patriarchal men that are trying to stop her from doing her coding.
Yeah.
And at the same time, she's writing articles about STEM with her right hand.
Yeah.
And then when she finally gets to the top, she just obviously there's these like white men, they have these like bags of money and they're just sort of holding the bags of money and then they're just kind of petting them like,
of course. Yeah.
But because they won't have all their money, they have like sort of like $1 billion like cash notes kind of thing.
Yeah, special.
They keep all their money in like $1 billion cash notes and then they're just like high-fiving and give each other props, and the one guy's like, I fucking love being a man, and the other guy goes, I love being a man. No women will ever
straight man.
Yeah, I love being a straight man. No women
and white.
No women will ever take down our company. And then as they're like doing a big laugh sort of thing, she jumps down from the rafters. Still, she only has her feet because her hands are still writing STEM.
Yeah, they're still writing away.
She's coding with her left hand and then writing the STEM blog with her left. She kicks them both out. The banknotes go into the air, and then she ends up jumping on a trampoline, grabs the notes, and then she invests in herself.
Yeah.
And she just realized the problem was she had to invest in herself the whole time. So she invests in herself. And then the new Cinderella book essentially becomes the new social media platform that we're all on. And she sort of partners with the government to censor any bad information about women. And then finally we get to live in the utopia that we deserve to live in.
President.
Well, of course, there is no president anymore. It's like there only is there's one singular part of the universe that operates within Cinderella book.
Yeah.
And she controls that. And it essentially controls all thought. It controls all thing. And there's a 90% tax rate on anyone who is a man.
I love this idea. The only maybe criticism I have is it's just optics wise, it's bad that like a white guy's coming up with this. So could we maybe swap you with Shonda Rhimes?
Yes.
Because if Shonda Rhimes pitched this would be a green light instantly. This would be done. This is a done deal. If you could just kill yourself and then we'll replace you with Shonda Rhimes.
Shonda Rhimes comes up with it, and then the Cinderella is also Latina in this.
Yeah, of course.
She goes, no man,
and some native. They do a 23andMe, and she just has all the things.
Oh, and she's done all the things, but there's no stereotypes involved. It's not like the Prince Charming or whatever it is comes in and she's like checking his phone, like looking at him.
I don't give a shit about no Prince Charming. Let me see that phone. Who are you texting with?
Who the motherfucker you be? Who the motherfucker?
Who the fuck is Pizza Hut? Huh? Why's Pizza Hut texting you at 2:30 in the morning? Huh?
Cinderella's poking holes in condoms to fucking trying to rack up the kids. Oh my God, Cinderella has 19 kids. There's motherfucking deadbeat won't pay child support so I can invest in my Cinderella book. We both
I
are
love
doing
it.
bad.
I love it.
Yeah, punches him in the throat for looking at another woman, sort of thing.
Yeah,
there was a good
sort of
meme
shit.
that came out. It was white women versus Latinas, and it was like I told him my ex was Latina, so I feel like most people that have dated
You're good frame of
Latino.
reference.
Well, people always say it's true, and it like is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like fiery. So no other way to describe it. You know what I mean?
Abusive.
Yeah, I guess. I know. Obviously, I wasn't being abused.
I mean, nobody's calling a Latino man fiery, are they? Are they calling Latino men fiery?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Or
It's
is
more
it
that
just the women.
It's more that women are fiery. They are fiery though, but I don't mind fiery.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the one goes.
It can get old.
It says white women versus Latinas, and it's the white woman. Hugh Hefner's ex-wife writes a tell-all book about how bad he is, and then it says Latinas. It's El Chapo's wife saying she had no idea he was involved in crime.
Really?
Are we talking about the same Hefner or the same El Chapo?
Not my El Chapo. Oh yeah, that's classic.
I gotta tell you that always love it. There's nothing that I like more than one of the sketches or videos becomes real.
Yeah,
and I posted this on the internet, but NYU hosts an anti-racism workshop available only to white people.
That's not even the one I thought you were going to say, by the way.
Which one did you think
I thought you were going to say the Trudeau with the Muslims.
Trudeau with the Muslims. Okay,
That one too.
We'll do both of them. But the NYU host anti-racism workshop. It's like this is a sketch that I've wanted to make forever. I tried to make it like a few different times, and it was just like I never had the right thing. I want to do it with Che. I almost did it with Che the last time we filmed her. It was going to be me, you, someone else. Oh yeah, me, you, and Aiden.
Yeah.
And then Che walks in, being like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" We're like, "This is sort of a whites are bad conference," and there's like, "Oh, do you mind if I say?" It's like, I mean, it's kind of a whites against whites.
Yeah,
you know, that was
really self-flagellating here.
I've had that idea forever, and I had it in my last special as a joke, and it just like always makes me laugh every now and then. I think I should make it as a sketch. And then so they basically did that in New York, and they have like a flagellation session where all these white women get together in the basement of NYU and just talk about how bad they are.
Yeah. And pay for it. It's like you got to pay a bunch of money to go. Just be like, and they're trying to they're essentially being like, we want whites to figure out the problem on their own.
It shouldn't be their issue.
Like they're like, this isn't our problem that you're all racist. So I don't know why we should have to come fix you and your racism. So it's literally just like we put a bunch of racist white people in a room alone and had them solve their racism. That's the goal.
100%.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess Robin DiAngelo could get in the mix there because she's white, right?
Okay, so tell me about this Trudeau thing.
Basically, Muslims who are, like a religious Muslims in Canada who are fairly conservative generally, just in their beliefs, are not into all this.
This is one was our sketch from the podcast.
Yeah, from the podcast, 2 weeks ago or whatever. Where like they're just like, yeah, we're not all into all this. Like they're basically like, there's a whole scandal in Canada because all these politicians keep getting
not loving you teaching the kids butt sex before Ramadan.
Yeah, and like all the stuff with like the trans and million genders and stuff, and so
they're praying. So the kids are praying, and then. They go, but they like, how they go up and down.
Yeah.
And when they go up, they're trying to slip like slip genderqueer in there.
Genderqueer. They open.
They have a Quran.
Cut out. It's just genderqueer inside of their Quran. They go, this looks different. But there's all these scandals in Canada where like politicians like are taking photos.
They called that pulling a fasting one.
Politicians are taking photos with people who are like have shirts that just say "Leave our kids alone," which has become like a very problematic, like controversial. Like everybody's like, like Pierre or whatever his name is, like takes a photo with someone wearing a controversial shirt and it says "Leave our kids alone." You're like, okay, I guess that's controversy is different everywhere, I suppose. But anyways, it's just like all these like. So all these Muslims who are opposing all this LGBT stuff, which is like pretty on brand for the Muslim people always. like they're not like they were different and now they're like this has been consistent on this stuff. They're like,
yeah.
Right? And so now Trudeau's essentially saying, hey, like you're only thinking these things because you've been tricked by the
alt-right.
Well, the alt, like the right wing, people have tricked you into thinking this is what we're doing is
At the
bad.
Calgary Mosque, where, by the way, everyone thinks like this. It ain't just the
everyone in Calgary for the most part, or in
Right.
Alberta, and they're like, yeah, but so
So the protesters. So
and American right wing specifically, they're like the American
Exactly.
right wing have tricked you in Canada, you Muslim Canadians, into
and it's very condescending, right?
for sure.
Because it was just like, listen, I know that I know that all of you have been tricked. You know, you're obviously you guys loved you wouldn't
Yeah.
love gay stuff if it wasn't for Ben Shapiro.
My arch nemesis Ben Shapiro.
And then he keeps kind of saying to them like, listen, I know you're not like this.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah. Essentially, he's like, you've just been tricked. Like, obviously, Muslims love homosexuals and all this like LGBT stuff.
thinks he's
that's
the
why
pa-
there's a Muslim float every year
Yes.
at the Pride Parade and all that stuff because you guys just love it so much.
And he's like, no, I mean, I'll stand up for LGBT, then the gay Muslims.
And they're
he's
like, no,
what
no,
about
no,
that?
we really don't like this stuff.
Nope,
And
not a
we
fan.
we were kind of somewhat tolerant for us just because everybody became very tolerant of
Yeah, I want to
Muslims.
give an arranged marriage to a member of the opposite sex.
Yes.
Not you arranging, putting condoms
That
on
is
him.
literally going to be a show on CBC like next year.
Gay
It's like
Muslim.
Gay
They already
Muslim.
have that, don't
gay
they?
Muslim arranged marriage though, where they're like, but they don't tell the parents. They it's two fathers like with the guys, and then they're like they think it's going to be like a chick, but it's like just two guys.
You're gay now.
Yeah, you're gay now. Can that work for? Can you be like because it's like it's that arranged? We've arranged your marriage and your sexuality.
We've arranged your sexuality.
You're gay.
Yeah. When they just show up like, what's up, Mo? What's up, Mo? Oh, one of us is going chick. I don't know. It ain't going to be me.
Ain't gonna be me. I don't know.
You better get used to fucking wearing a dress, pal. You better
It's
friggin'.
just haram, dog.
I'll tell you what, you're going to by the time I'm done with you, we'd have a fucking bonnet on your head because I ain't no gay.
Yeah, anyway,
you
and I
better
think he
get
got
used to
booed.
dressing
I
like
think
a
he
woman.
got. I don't know if this is the event, but Trudeau.
The guy's out of his friggin'
He did some
mind.
Muslim thing though, where like, because he in his mind he's like, everybody loves him, at least the people on his side. But now he's like did some event for all these like either Muslim or Native things, and he got booed. He's starting to get booed. I have a feeling his time's up. I mean, he's been in for 8 years already.
Has it? I thought it'd been longer.
I think 2015 he got elected.
Cannonball. That is what you're going to be doing when you're at the beach. You're jumping into the pool.
Ooh.
In Danny's case, there might be a kid that ends up on the tree.
And in your case, there's a pool at the beach.
In that case, there's the pool at the beach. But there is sometimes pools at the beach. You go to Miami. We're talking about Manscaped, ladies and gentlemen. This summer, it's not about the size of those cannonballs. It's about making a splash with our friends at Manscaped. Prep for barbecue season by making sure your grill master has the hottest dogs the summer has ever seen. When you're at the cookout, let the meat speak for itself with Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. It's time to get ready, not sweaty, by going to manscaped.com, using the code BOYSCAST for 20% off and free shipping. We here, you know our thoughts. We want you to be trim. We want you to be clean. We don't want you to be at that beach looking like some sort of scumbag. Not to mention after the beach.
No,
Whatever
never.
goes on there.
I don't know.
The Manscaped. I don't want to know either. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has got everything you need to guarantee you got the most mouth-watering treats at the party.
Yeah, you do.
Some entendres here in this copy here.
Entendres.
They have built the ultimate bundle for your summer grooming. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced safe technology. You don't want an accident.
No.
If you firsthand know what it looks like.
You don't.
You accidentally chopped that right off with one.
Makes that sound. Oh.
No, thank you, pal.
Ooh.
You want to have the Lawnmower 4.0. The Lawnmower 4.0 has got a 7,000 RPM motor. That's a bad boy right there.
That's a real piece of work.
It's a real piece of machinery. A new multi-function on-off switch can engage a travel lock and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention the trimmer's waterproof? Did I mention that yet? Beach, pool, shower. The razor will devour even the strongest of pubes.
Okay.
Now you can feel safe wearing a low-cut swimsuit without any scragglers peeking out, which is something we've been talking about lately, too. These people that want to have the scragglers peeking out,
Yeah,
grossing everybody
don't
on the
like
beach.
'em.
Don't like them.
Seen ya?
Seen you don't like you.
Don't like you.
Use Manscaped's liquid formulations, basically the ball freshness version of cracking open a cold one. They've got the crop preserver ball deodorant, keeping you cool from sunrise to sunset with a smoothing aloe vera formula. It's the best in the business for below the waist freshness. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts because that's what they like to do in their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Wearing sandals with some nasty toenails? No, thank you. Take a look at the Shears 2.0 Luxury Nail Grooming Kit. This kit includes stainless steel cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. As a treat, you should add on the crop mops to your order, a moist towelette made specifically for your beach balls. It's the best midday refresher to stop your popsicle from melting. Something funny?
Yeah, no.
Nothing funny here. This is serious
Nothing
business.
funny about it.
Performance Package 4.0. There's nothing funny. This isn't no laughing matter. Serious business. I've been on it.
Very serious.
I'm all over it. I'm groomed. I'm loomed.
Yeah.
So to get 20% off and free shipping with the code BOYSCAST at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And you use the code BOYSCAST. Manscaped, the perfect way to get your patty sizzling hot
Yeah.
this summer. Okay, here's my favorite new one.
Yep.
Ready for this, puppy?
Yep.
So I just got yelled at for asking a very reasonable question. So I'm applying to go somewhere, and I just wanted to know, are there accommodations for people who struggle with time blindness and being on time, you know? And then the person I was with interrupted and acted like I was asking something else, and then when we were done, they actually started yelling at me and saying that accommodations for time blindness doesn't exist, and if you struggle with being on time, you'll never be able to get a job.
This person's dead serious right now.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, and they look exactly what you think they look like. You know?
Time blindness is nice, though, if you can convince a fucking chick.
Being late's a disability?
I am an asshole, aholic. I cannot. This is a medical disability that I can't call you in afterwards.
I'm just hoping my girl's not listening right now, because that's what she's going to be like. I'm time blind.
Yeah, for sure. Well, how about this? Telling the girl that I have just this like specific disability where I can't check my phone for days on end when I'm on a trip with the boys.
Yeah, I have text blindness.
I have text blindness.
Text blindness. I just, for whatever reason, certain texts just don't come up. It's like I don't know exactly what it is, but I just can't see them. So.
I think this one was a bit of a peak for the whole thing because a lot of people were just like, nope.
Yeah, how about no?
How about no, Scott?
That's crazy. Time blindness.
Time blindness
I
is
don't
my
understand.
favorite one in a
So
while.
what? You just want to go on disability? Like, is that the goal here? You go.
I'll tell you what kind of blindness I have. When we're out at the bar and one of my boys is doing something bad. That's me with the walking stick. When your boy is up to no good, you go, what the fuck? Where is I have Mike blindness. When, Mike's doing something maybe he shouldn't be doing.
I mean, I will say that there's nothing that makes me happier than when someone like says that, because they think that this is about to go viral positively.
They think that someone's going to be like, your fucking boss needs to be fired from his own company.
Exactly, like all that stuff, and everybody's like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Well, all this stuff. Listen. I've been saying that most of this stuff's from I'm actually a person that has been through, when I was young, the doctors and the teachers trying to get me on medication saying I have ADHD, right?
Yeah.
And this whole, this was like a whole debacle, right?
Yeah, I imagine.
Teachers pushing it, doctors trying to pill me up.
Yeah.
Trying to say there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, I just figured they just had to rein you in some way.
No one reined in shit.
But that's what they were going for. They were just like, they had to medicate you because you're probably like starting fires in class.
I was a bit of a troublemaker, I'm not going to lie. A bit of a handful, you might say. And sure, maybe the teachers did want to fucking dim me.
Yeah, but that's not the way to do it.
Well, dim what? I've gone on to fucking be
Bart Simpson over here.
I did good in school.
Yeah, I know.
Went on to do good after
that's
school,
probably the
and
most
then went on to be successful in life. These teachers, if they had their way, I'd be sitting in a corner, friggin' pilled up,
just drooling now.
drooling. I need more ADHD medication. I'd be telling people I can't do stuff. Oh, sorry, I have my ADHD. I can't potentially start a podcast.
I'm thinking about starting a podcast next year.
Like, yeah, maybe next year. I have too much ADHD. I can't concentrate on anything. It's like, yes, this is the thing. Every quality that a person has comes at some expense of something else.
Of course.
So it's like you don't always want to get rid of it. It's like, yes, a person, yes.
Well, they were trying, like the people who were trying to do this it was purely motivated by their like, we just need to turn this down a little, and they go, let's just throw some drugs.
Do you know what they're trying to turn down?
Yeah.
My free thinking.
Sure.
Literally.
Yeah.
Do you know what they're trying to turn down? The fact that I wasn't really going with the program.
Exactly. Yeah, you were a bit of a.
I wasn't going with the program of not talking to a class.
I'm sorry.
But like, really, if you boil it all down,
Yeah.
it's that you're not going with the program.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Didn't you? Yeah.
So listen,
You're
I'm sure there are people. Well, this is the thing though, and they want to give you Adderall, they want to give you this, they want to give you that. Make everyone dependent on drugs. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I don't even think it's like a hard stance to be like, they're overprescribing all this shit. But it's like, I'm a personal, like, if right now I had gone through my school years, medicating friggin', with all these drugs, I would now currently be like dependent on a drug
for sure,
as opposed to anything. It's like I've always said, even if I'm like, if I do things better drunk or whatever, like stand up, it's like I always don't know because I don't want that to be worked into my system.
For sure. And I mean, that's just path of least resistance. They just don't want to actually have to like do the effort required to maybe change those behaviors. So they're like, well, just.
I mean, I'm lucky I live in a house where my parents aren't friggin' nutcases.
For sure.
Because I was just like, I'm not doing that shit, right? And then they were like, okay, whatever.
Fine, yeah.
So you tell your teacher to fucking suck it, dude.
The teachers probably weren't pumped about that.
The same thing. They tried to send me the gifted class. I said to suck it too. I said to suck it to all the things.
Yeah.
They're up to something, man. They're trying to get me to go to some other class for that, and then they're also trying to pill you up. And it's like you
get one.
I'm not moving.
I'm not moving.
I did the Leonardo DiCaprio speech in what's the movie?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, Wolf of Wall Street. I go, thought about it. I'm not going. I'm not taking the pills.
Yeah.
I'm not eating the bugs.
I will not eat the bugs.
In fact, I thought this when I came back to the boys. I go, I'm not going. I'm not taking the pills. I'm not eating the bugs. And Jeff, is going to be eating some bugs. And we fed Jeff bugs.
The teacher's like trying to teach math. I go, Ryan,
stop eating Jeff bugs.
Go to the office. You're disturbing us again.
I'm not going.
You will not dim my lights.
So this is the thing. They need to keep making up illnesses if they're going to keep fucking feeding people pills.
Time blindness? Jesus.
These doctors, man. Dr. Pillmans.
Yeah.
They're just... It's almost like there's nothing you can do about it because it's just going to keep getting worse.
Yeah.
They won't rest until every kid's on a friggin', a cocktail of medication.
For sure. I mean, it's just big money in that stuff, and it's easier than real parenting, I would imagine.
They want your brain foggy.
Yeah, they
They want
that third eye all fogged up, man. They want those chakras just all cloudy so you can't see what they're up to.
That is actually what they're trying to do. Cloud up your third eye.
They are trying to cloud up the third eye.
That is probably the 90% of them giving you medications is your third eye's a little cloudy.
Probably. Probably. All the antidepressants and stuff.
Yeah, so I've had enough of that shit, man.
Yeah.
Time blindness. Okay, this is the boob segment. Let's cut this shit here and talk about the real fucking scoop. You know what I'm saying? And talk about the real two scoops.
Yeah.
Danny's a titty man, so I know that he likes these articles.
Yeah.
He's a
It's
big
a whole pack.
You're the biggest titty man I know, probably.
I'm not a crazy tit guy.
What?
I mean, I like them. I'm not like like when
I feel like you
chick
are.
walk by, I'm like,
I feel like you sort of are, though.
no. I like some nice jugs like the rest of the guys. I don't know.
I like a jug the next man.
Like the other red-blooded males, but not a.
I feel like you are sort of a big tit.
I mean,
man.
I like a jug. Or two.
Well, then you might see now he's admitted it. Finally took him a little while. He doesn't like to be pegged down. No peg. So basically they're saying that bee pollen helps boobs grow.
Yeah, this was... I had a friend of mine actually who was like a real health nut guy, and he would always put bee pollen in his smoothies.
Really?
He was a big bee pollen
Well, your
guy.
fucking friend's going to be growing some titties.
That's probably why I hung out with him. He had a nice set of double D's on him.
Biggest set of titties on a dude that I've ever seen. So yeah, your boy's going to be growing boobs, but Yeah, me and Tony were laughing at the idea of the commercial just for bee pollen, where it's all the guys just trying to force bee pollen on chicks and just being like, there's lots, but just like sliding the one in. Like, there's a lot of health benefits. It's good for your skin. It helps your blood flow better, make your tits grow bigger, and it also
makes your tits grow nonstop. So,
well. Improves your hair, obviously makes your boobs grow bigger. Anxiety.
You all have that, don't you, ladies?
Well, yeah, you're more of a tit guy than I am. This is the thing. I'm probably more of an ass guy, but I'm just as much of a tit guy.
Yeah.
I just don't really discriminate big or not big.
Yeah.
Like, I think probably some of the nicest tits are like pretty moderately sized.
I agree. I'm
not a bigger is better guy.
No, I'm not. No. Bigger is not necessarily better.
No.
No, hell no.
Some people, I think, just like
yeah. Some people like JJ is.
So you're just saying you're not that. You're not.
No. Like JJ's literally like, give me a 450-pound woman with just like size like K, like giant cans that are just like touching the floor, and JJ's like, those are the best. I'm like, no, those.
I'm not that dude.
No,
that ain't me, pal.
No, I'm not like. You ever see like a dog that's recently been pregnant? Like, I don't want a chick that looks like that. Like that thing. Like, I don't like. Some people do.
He likes floppy and empty.
Yeah, I don't like.
Not a lot of meat in there. A lot of skin.
I don't like
a lot of.
Yeah,
hang.
I don't like the deflated.
Well, no one likes the deflated. But I just, okay. So,
no, JJ does.
Well, the reason I bring it up is because there's a couple titty articles.
Yeah.
So the Italians.
This is insane. I posted this on Twitter last night because I was reading it, and tell the story.
So basically, there was a court case in Italy where something to do with if someone groped someone.
No,
and said it wasn't a full sexual
it was like
assault.
a 65-year-old janitor at a high school.
Yeah.
Went up to a 17-year-old girl, pulled down her pants and grabbed her ass like during school, and then they put him on trial, and then his whole defense was that it was a joke. He just goes, "It's a joke. It's a funny.
Oh, it's a
joke. What is the matter? It's a funny joke. I grabbed her on the little kiss. Oh,
watch it. Look at me. Take the pants down. Oh, he laugh. Everybody laugh.
It's a joke." And then they found it.
The old Cuomo defense.
Yeah, well, that's why. And then I found the screenshot of Cuomo where he goes, "I'm not perverted. I'm just Italian," which is like the greatest.
I grabbed the meatballs. It's a joke. Oh, laughy.
Pretty much. And then they found him not guilty because they go, it's not an assault until it's a 10-second grope.
Right.
They go, there's a 10-second rule.
And that's all weird. You know what I mean?
Insane.
Yeah, so that stuff's bizarre.
Yeah.
But what happens next is even weirder.
Yeah.
So there's girls, I've said this in my stand-up act, I've said it here, but it's like, whenever you leave girls to their own devices, eventually they take their top off for whatever they need.
Sure.
Whether that be money, but it's like, so all the activist causes, you've seen the climate people out there. It's like every 15 days, they run a nudist colony and they're like, well, yeah, against fracking, right?
Yeah, that's the best.
Well, these girls have been doing a TikTok trend where to like protest Italian government, they grab their boobs on camera for 8 seconds to be like, that's not a problem. But sure. But what you have is girls grabbing their titties for fucking 10
yeah, they're just like, yeah, you like that for 8 seconds?
Yeah, like,
wait,
can you imagine if they were, obviously like a dick grabbing thing, and then the guys were like, every man is jerking off on camera to show that if it wasn't jerking off for 10 seconds and it's not actually jerking off, well, then tell me what this is.
Yeah.
So you got all these girls being like, oh, they need more aggressive harassment laws. Well, yeah. How would you like to see me grab my titties for 8 seconds? And the Italian guy's like, I'm much alike. I actually would.
I mean, Italy's sick if you could just literally do that for 8 seconds.
Literally.
Just, I can't believe that stood up.
Yeah, me neither. There must have been something more kind of going on. It's hard to get the full story on these other countries.
I think the guy is just like
he's like, I actually was joking, but pulling the pants down's a bit much.
That's insane for no. It's like the guy's an old school creep. Like when the Me Too stuff happened, and then you go like, remember everybody used to just dismiss people as like, oh, he's just like a creepy old man, but he's like harmless. And then now after Me Too, we were like, no, that guy's a criminal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was dismissing that before.
But people people forever would be like some, oh, he's just like a creepy old man, but like, he's harmless. Like he's not like You know, like where he would touch like.
I think I know in
small. You know what I'm talking about? Like some old guy be like, oh, he like always like touches the small of my back or something, and like, but he's fine.
Joe
like,
Biden.
Yeah, whatever. Like Joe Biden. Yeah, creepy old man. Like, but he's harmless. And then now people are like, after Me Too, we're like, no, that's like you can't do any of that stuff. That's not appropriate. This guy was trying to be like old school, being like, it's just I'm just a sweet old guy. Just a little smell of your underwear. I don't know.
Yeah, so the titty protest to me is always just like how is this helping?
I don't know. We'll see if they get it overturned though, and then you'll be eating your words.
Well, if they do, good, I guess, because they go, hey, every girl like pulling her tits out and grabbing them. It's like
that's a win-win.
That's
for
how
everybody.
that's how you get legislation passed, and it just be like, I hope you're
It's just
right.
like tassels, just like spinning them around.
The girl trying to get like a stop sign put in her neighborhood.
Shit, that might work.
Hey, I'm here to talk about the construction project that's been going on too long at 4th and 15th. They go, we're listening. She goes, okay, start the music. Pump up the jam. And then she goes, pump it up, pump it up. They go, all right, we'll take your proposal into
All right,
consideration.
your time is up. Please cede the floor.
Anyone else? Another girl comes out. She's just like, yeah, I just want to say that the asphalt's been a little bumpy outside of the local community center. And they go, we're not really hearing what you're picking down. She goes, okay, start the music.
The lights go down. Fucking the fog machine.
Pump up the jazz, pump it up, pump it up, pump up the jazz, pump it up, pump it up.
All right, we've seen enough.
All right, we'll consider the asphalt next Thursday. Is that going to work for you?
We'll put it in the budget.
She goes, I was thinking Wednesday. They go, pump
it up. Pump. Yeah.
So that's that. But this is the mother lode of why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
This girl goes, one day I woke up with a debilitating fear of boobs, but I won't let it control my life.
This is an odd one.
Crazy, right? So essentially what happened is this girl's got small ones, right?
Yeah.
She's got some dude. She thinks he likes big ones. She's got like anxiety, the whole ball of wax, everything these girls could have. She's a blogger, you fucking name it, right?
Yep.
So she starts believing that like, this guy, every time he's looking at boobs, he's thinking about those boobs, and it like really starts to make her brain go crazy, right? To the point where she's gotten to the point where her obsessive compulsive disorder latches on to themes and terrorizes her, she says. But the main three are dying violently, my boyfriend Mike dying, and boobs. So she can't even watch a movie.
Booby movie.
That's right. Sometimes in my 35 years on this planet, I've developed a crippling fear of tits. So she's watching a movie with her boyfriend. Some titties comes on the screen. She goes, ah!
Yeah, like I want to know, like, what's the reaction like when that
I was
happens?
also wondering that myself.
Like, is she like, turn it off, please, no? She actually says she does the thing where, because you can check if you're like a parent for movies, like there's like some website where you can check just to see what's going to happen in the movie, so you like, don't expose your kids to it. And she like watches those for like as an adult, just to make sure there's no breasts and all that. Why can't she? Wouldn't like exposure therapy be the thing for that, where you just take her to the Ripper?
You didn't read the second half because that's what she tried.
It was a really long article.
I didn't expect you to read the whole thing, but that does what happens. She goes to a therapist, right? And her therapist is doing stuff like that, legitimately like, okay, just, picture a dome.
Yeah.
Now picture a second dome. I guess we need to take a break. Okay, just stop for a second.
We're okay. We're just everything.
Yeah,
Everything's fine. We're
okay. I'm just going to show you a girl in a snowsuit here. She's going to unzip the snowsuit. Ah! She's having a flip out. So the boyfriend's dealing with some fucking nuttiness.
I guess she can't get implants. That's not a solution for her.
What the fuck? Get an implant? Well, I guess we make her scared of herself.
Well, but then she has the huge jugs now, and she just knows that it's nothing to be scared of. And then also, like, she's not self-conscious because she has the jugs.
Oh, no. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
She didn't even mention the possibility of plants.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You go, buddy, plant it up. It seems like obviously.
Yeah, I think so.
Robert and Roberto plant. I don't know what she's thinking. She's out here doing therapy. The therapist is like showing her, just a picture of one boob, and with her eyes, taped back to her head, and it's like, Get some hair implants.
Yeah, get some implants. Problem solved. And if you don't like them, you can have them removed.
But then the problem is maybe she becomes scared of herself as she wakes up in the middle of the night trying to rip out the implants and all this sort of stuff.
I guess, yeah.
Fear of boobs.
I guess that's like you're locking yourself in like a cage.
Well, you have that fear of vagina. How does that work?
I just close my eyes and pretend it's an ass. I usually put a little
dirty Sanchez on top.
I give myself a dirty Sanchez just to simulate it a little better. I just put it right under my nose right there.
You have the fear of the opposite, fear of no titties. What?
Fear of no titties? That was the air just
Busted.
Fear of no titties.
What? You have a fear.
I'm not a boob man, I'm telling you.
You are, though.
I'm an ass man.
I don't think you are.
I am.
I
I love a nice ass.
As long as it's on a dude. Anytime Mike and I watch a movie, I first have to check it on Common Sense Media. That's what you were describing. I decided after watching Gangs of New York, I read the comment on Common Section Media. Brief nudity, breasts, buttocks, character in bed with 3 naked women. So that she had to go, that was going to be a no-go for
So
her.
she can't go to like the beach, none of that.
I feel like I have that. I'll tell you one thing I will say, that I don't have a fear of this, but like, in the last, I would say, like, obviously dudes being nude are funny sometimes.
Yeah.
But in the last, like, the sort of like Judd Apatow, Seth Rogen era movie,
Yeah.
they started getting a little carried away with how many dicks they're putting in movies.
Oh, dude, you see Euphoria? It's like Dick City.
And, yeah, so, like, I get why someone doesn't want to watch a movie and it's just like a big honking dick every time.
Yeah.
And honest to God, they don't usually go that small.
No.
Because I don't know what it is.
Only Ken Jeong is the only one.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's because it's like the cuck movie producer era.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like these guys are all like,
That was in
they picked like honkin' D's, right?
In Popstar. That was, what's his face?
Judd Apatow?
Yeah.
What? I think I knew that, but why?
Yeah, I don't know, but that was like at the
That's like that
limo with the windows going
It's
up
like that Quentin Tarantino thing that everyone's been talking about where he because there's like a scene where he like has to lick the girl's foot and drips the thing down.
yeah.
It's like, just remember he wrote this and casted himself in that role. And he's like a noted foot guy or
Yeah, he's a
whatever.
big
But it's
foot
like,
guy.
yeah, why would Judd Apatow like decide that like, hey, I'm going to be the guy waving my dick in this movie? I'm not in the movie, but I'm going to cast myself as dick number
Dick
3.
guy. Yeah, he goes, this is funny, everybody, huh? And you go, I mean, you're kind of our boss, so.
It just seems like it seems weird that they're just like, because you have a bunch of people like watching movies in their bed,
Yeah.
and then you just like, I guess I don't know why they wanted. Obviously, it's a little bit funny, but for some reason, it's been like over the course of the last 8 years.
Well, it's just revenge. It's like they're going.
But it's revenge by guys.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like guys cucking themselves.
Yeah, to a degree. I think they're also just trying to placate whoever is complaining and go, okay, sure, there have been so many breasts, here's some dicks.
I guess I think that you're being.
I don't know.
Over like too much on their side. I think it's something more at play here.
Yeah.
I think they're trying
Something
to.
in the occult? Something in the occult?
Yeah, something in the occult.
Some sort of.
Well, anyways, the Righteous Gemstones. I told you that they want me to potentially like audition for it, and the guy like liked me at this show or whatever. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Well, anyways, the guy that I watched the show, and the guy that I was gonna do, guy has his fucking dick out half the movie. And by the way, I would have been terrible at this character. It's the guy Judy cheats with, and he's like, the guy who they picked actually did a really good job. I don't think I would have been good for this thing.
Yeah.
But this dude, he's got like a full scene where he gets in this big fight and he's got his dick out the whole time.
Yeah. That's.
That would have been insane.
Yeah, it'd be tough for the podcast.
Would you have done one of those?
Probably not.
I'll tell you, I don't think.
I mean, how are we supposed to do the podcast?
After I'm just like,
Podcast is like done.
what? After I've got my dick out that much? Why?
I don't know. I just feel like.
You think it'd be weird for you?
No, not for me. I don't know. Maybe not.
You're just so weird afterwards. He's just so.
It's like I can't stop looking at your crotch.
Yeah. Well, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have a aversion to that, but I don't go. I just go. I don't know. You're just sitting there with your chick, and it's like some guy waving his dick around. It's just strange.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not for me anyway. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's also not for me. I hate that stuff.
I don't know. Comment below if you like the dicks or don't.
I hate that stuff.
Comment below if you're loving the dicks, hating the dicks. So this woman, on a movie night, I'm feeling casual. I don't first search the title on my website. Having breasts appear on the screen surprises me like having tarantulas in my bed. I stiffen. What if I look at Mike and see the boner in his eyes? So a big thing is she's looking at the guy.
I stiffen too when I see that stuff.
So she's kind of like how I am with dicks, and I guess how you are with tits, which exactly like her.
You stiffen?
I don't like them.
And you stiffen when you see a lot of dicks? You're real
stiffen.
You're real stiff?
None of us are stiffening. If Mike's cruel enough to look at me while I spiral in distress, he'll see me hard at work trying to conceal the horror on my face. So this guy's got a real problem. So she said she was watching porn and stuff like that to try to like, and at one point she goes, I'm watching like all these like gangbang scenes to try to desensitize me. Like imagine going home and fucking dating a girl. She's watching all these gangbangs. She's like, I need to get over my fear.
Yeah. She goes, I can't even live.
You just start screaming in the other room. The boob.
Do you think like shit's so bad that like they'll buy like just, you know, like oranges and then he'll put the oranges like beside each other in the bowl and they're just like that. Like they can't even like nothing resembles breasts.
Well, that's what it sounds like. I searched the internet for best sex scenes, most graphic sex scenes, all this sort of stuff. Sports Illustrated swimsuit photos, bikini hunt. After each exposure, I'd spiral down an inferno. So she's like running around having like a manic episode, and the boyfriend's just like, "Are you looking at boobs again?" She's like, "No."
I mean, it's hard to avoid them, I guess, but this is I've never heard of such a thing.
Having looking at a picture of a boob and having a literal meltdown.
Could you look at one boob? Like, is two boobs looking at like double as bad? You think as one? Like, could she?
I think that's how she probably started trying to do stuff like that. She tried to go one then the other, and she goes, "Nipples are not lasers." This is what she has to tell herself.
Those are not lasers?
So this would be an annoying person to date, that's for sure.
They all are.
It's medical. Do you know the World Cup? They've been giving out like $20,000 free tickets for the women's thing, which is obviously like kind
Sound
of
of Freedom Part 2. World Cup 2023.
I don't think the girls need to listen. The girls have their new sport, and that is fake horseback riding. If you've seen it, so, this is the new thing, and this is your sport. You don't need to worry about the ticket sales. You don't need to take my thing of taking your top off to try to increase the sales.
Sure.
The girls basically they get a fake horse and they ride around and then they get judged on it. And that is the new women's sport. Men aren't going to, stay away from it. It's your thing.
I mean, maybe. Did you see that men's synchronized swimming made it into the Olympics next year?
Oh boy, already?
No, next year. They just announced it like yesterday or 2 days ago that they've accepted men's synchronized swimming.
Well, it's literally the SNL skit
I
from
know, right?
years ago
like
with what's his name?
Yeah, with Harry Shearer, I think.
I don't know the guy's name. The guy who played the
Martin Short. Yeah, Martin Short and I think Harry Shearer who's the voice of Mr. Burns. But that's the two of them. Yeah, like and literally that's going to be a sport now. I mean, it is a sport, but
brutal.
Now it's in the Olympics, men's synchronized swimming.
I'm gonna read you a question. Actually, okay, I'm going to do one thing first, then I'm going to read a question. Okay. This guy, my ex is lying about me being a sex god.
This is so funny.
In the wake of our breakup, my ex-girlfriend's lying about me to all our mutual friends. Traditionally, these would be stories about what an awful boyfriend I am. You're right, this is the opposite of what's been actually happening in reality. But in this case, that I'm a freakishly intense, kinky, and satisfying lover with a penis that borders on alarming, which appears to be a humble brag from this guy. But then it comes out, he goes, he's never even had sex.
Yeah, I'm a virgin, it scares me.
I know there were people who would appreciate this, but I actually find it awkward and embarrassing, particularly since the rumors have spread to people I don't know. So this guy's like a church guy.
So, yeah, and he's like back in the dating scene. And I guess like people have heard the lore of this dude, so he's like matching with people on apps, and they're like, "Holy shit,
it's the big dick freak!"
Yes,
and he's a virgin.
He's a virgin. He's like, "I've actually never had sex before."
It's sort of an okay prank actually to pull, because the girl, just saying he's bad at sex. If you're normal, you're probably going to exceed expectations, and most girls probably aren't going to totally take your word for it.
Yeah.
But if you say he's good at sex, and then girls sign up for that, and then he shows up and he's just like doesn't know how to do it. He's been like coming quick. And they were like, I heard you're going to be like putting me on the fucking
whatever
ceiling.
Though. But if you're that dude and you're just trying to get it in there, then what you could just be like, yeah, I'll just keep doing this until I ruin the reputation.
It would be a bad prank for this guy because he's not the type of guy that's just trying to get it in. He's a V.
Yeah, that is a tough spot for him.
He goes, I'm embarrassed that I guess she's embarrassed by the fact we didn't have sex, so she started telling people, they're 24 or something too, so it's not like this guy's 12 years old, fucking 16 or some shit, right? And then she goes, How is sex? He goes, oh, he's crazy. He was putting me on the walls. He was so kinky, and he was making me tying me up to the torture chamber. I was in a wheelchair afterwards
For a week.
and then this guy shows up like, excuse me.
Hi.
So it's pretty funny, almost a prank. But at this point, this story seems to have a life of its own. And he can't do anything. And he basically, do I need to get a doctor's note attesting to the perfectly average size in my trousers? So that's what he's potentially proposing.
That'd be a pretty wild doctor's note. You go, hey, can you just take a picture of it? I guess. I don't
Do you
know.
mind measuring this?
Imagine doctor's like, get out of my fucking office.
Get the fuck
What the
out of my
hell are you
office.
doing here?
Okay, this guy from the Patreon's got a question.
Okay.
Because we talked about making fun of the game, or you sort of said it's good, or some parts of it are
There's
good,
some
some parts of it
useful
are bad,
parts
some
of it.
useful parts. He said a couple months ago he got out of a 5 to 6 year relationship, and he's having trouble getting back out there. My main concerns: I had an accident when I was a baby, and it left my left eye messed up, and the iris is cloudy, white and blue, and the other is normal, dark and brown. So I get self-conscious about it when trying to pick up chicks, especially. At least in my head. Since eye contact is a big part, just seeing someone across the room, first connection, and I think that's all people are looking at. So he's very, self-conscious about it, and he goes, any advice on how to overcome this when trying to pick up chicks? 30 years old, 5'9", slim build, and he wanted to add that I could now get a painted contact lens to cover it up. Do you think that that's the way to do it, or just say fuck it and who cares?
Contact lens. What? I was literally in my mind. I was thinking, surely there can't be a contact lens that you could get where this would take away all of your self-consciousness about this issue.
Obviously, the conversation we should be having after you tried all this stuff.
No, but you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, look, the fact is that there are some women who will just be like, yeah, they're weirded out by it or whatever. Like, there will be some portion of people who it might be an obstacle for them for whatever reason. But there's a painted contact lens you could buy.
So you could do all the stuff you can physically first, right?
Yeah.
Painted contact lens, dark bars, get jacked, whatever. You
Painted
know what I mean?
contact lens.
Also, I'd say an emo haircut where it just kind of...
Yeah, you could do that. The Bieber. You could get the Bieber from 10 years, 15
Sure.
years ago. Just like
But
that.
this is what I was... So there is that. And obviously do anything you can physically. And the end of the day, I remember when I had broke my nose really bad and it was really crooked. Didn't really slow me down that much. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but again, if you also probably weren't really self-conscious about it, and it was temporary. Whereas, this guy
I sort of was for a second, but then it just went away.
Well, anyways, unless this thing's prohibitively expensive, which I can't imagine it is,
Yeah.
I would just get the contact lens, and I mean, I would still do all this other stuff too.
I have one piece of actual advice.
Yeah.
So obviously it's yes, do all the stuff you can, make all the other parts of it better. If a guy's sick, no one's going to give a shit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But one thing that legitimately, and this is probably in sort of that pickup, you need a good, funny story to get into it.
Totally, yeah,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? I wrote one or two down. For example, if you're solo, you basically be at a bar, you could be telling girls I obviously lost my, I had a bit of an eye problem because I was saving babies in a fire.
Yeah,
shit
for sure.
like that.
It definitely has to be an outlandish, funny story.
Say you were an assassin for the CIA, some shit like that. That's up the alley of all
Yeah.
that game shit. But if you had a really funny story about it, at the bottom line is it's been addressed.
Yeah.
It was funny, and you're both moving on.
What about if you wear glasses and then you go, just so you know,
Glasses,
the reason
for
why
sure.
I'm wearing sunglasses inside is because I have this thing with my eye, and then you go, let me show you, and then you take off the sunglasses, another pair of sunglasses. It's like a Russian nesting doll. You just keep taking off, but and she's like, how the fuck are you even doing this? And it's 12 sunglasses later, you go, it's just this thing.
Legitimately, there's a way to make it funny.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're if it's hurting your self-confidence to the point of actually even getting to that point, then contact lens. I don't know.
Well, of course, I don't know what's the reason you'd not want the contact lens. To me, it's a lot of times with these, when anyone has a physical problem with them, it's I have this big thing on my face. It was I'm thinking about getting removed. Yes, to do that.
For sure. I've always thought, because some people will have a birthmark on their face.
Or glasses. You can have some glasses that cover it up a bit.
But I've always thought
tinted glasses, the ones that tint in the light.
Yeah, exactly, the tinted. But I always thought people have the odd weird birthmark where it's prominent. I'm I would just get that tattooed over at that point, because you're you have this thing that's catches people's eyes. So
On your face?
But you have a thing on your face already, right? It's just like one thing's natural, but you're like, you know, sometimes people have just like, they'll have some crazy mole. I go, at that point,
What would you get tattooed? Just a big dollar sign on your cheek?
I don't know. Depends what the birthmark looks like. I would consider it though.
Yes.
Did you see Dennis Rodman's tattoo that he got on his
What
face?
did he get?
He's dating some girl right now, and Dennis Rodman's 60 right now, and he got her face tattooed on his face, like right here, and it looks so shitty. Like it's not even like a good tattoo.
Dennis Rodman's a wild.
Like he's a
bro.
wacky dude, but you're like, it's really like a bad tattoo.
He's friends with Kim Jong-il. You know he's going to be a bit wacky.
Yeah. Oh, he was always wacky. He was wacky even when he was on the Bulls and stuff. But you're like, it literally like on his face, and it's like of his new girlfriend who's probably won't be around in 2 years.
Don't forget, that's what when you talk to anyone that has like, you know, something like that, it's like all of this is gone if you're cool. You know what I mean?
he's Dennis Rodman. It's just like, you know, he's multi-time. I think he won 6 championships.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But, and also, don't forget, like, if you're a dude, that's all the things they always say. If you're just, like, in shape, like, are somewhat successful, it's like, it's so easy to soar past most of the guys. And on top of that, you have to remember, like, how gross girls are getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, was it 70% of girls are, like, really overweight right now, right?
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of articles about this, which I think will probably cruise over to the Patreon, but it's like,
we're running out of time.
like there's like 4 articles about how women are just like up in arms refusing to shave.
Yeah.
They want to be hairy beasts. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you have these girls,
Quite
they're out
off-putting.
here putting on weight. They want to look like Sasquatch.
Yep.
With the amount of hair, they want to look like Austin Powers comically in the movie, and then these ladies want to have some nerve to be like, weird eye. You
Yeah.
walk in there and you go, weird looking eyes you got there. You tell
Yeah,
them.
of course. I go, what's wrong with your eyes?
You go, and then they'll go, what's wrong with your eye? You go, well, your eye's the one that looks weird.
But more importantly, contact lens.
And also, if they look at you, go, do I got fucking candy in my eye? 'Cause Patreon.com/theboyscast. Bonus episode every week. You can catch me in Salt Lake City this weekend. It's going to be a friggin' awesome show. It's my first time to being at Salt Lake. We are getting very close to selling out all these Canadian dates, so definitely make sure that you get on that. We have New York coming up very soon, Tacoma, Vancouver, Kansas City, Omaha, Edmonton, Los Angeles, Irvine, San Jose, Phoenix, Toronto. Get on that.
And I'll be in Burlington August 11th and 12th. Ontario, Canada.
Where are you doing in Burlington?
Just the Yuck Yucks.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, it's just down the street from.
Who are you doing it with? Anyone yet?
Kyle Lucy is hosting, and Kevin Soldo.
Sick. That'll be
Yeah,
fun.
it'll be a fun time. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to come back around that
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Because
it'll be good.
I'm coming back at some point.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah, it'll be a good time.
the boys, almost a couple hundred away from Bugman versus Bugman.
Let's get there.
See you over at the Patreon.
Peace.